Lynn Spears, she's out with a new book, Things I Should Have Said, about growing up in the Spears family. Juju Chang sat down with her for an exclusive interview. Juju, this was emotional.
Absolutely. You know, people forget that Jamie Lynn has a lot of her own trauma to unpack. She grew up in the same parents as her world-famous sister, a child star herself with similar pressures inside that star-making machinery. And for most of her life, she says she was pretending that everything was okay, even when things were terribly wrong. And she has kept her silence about so much for so long until now. On her own path to stardom, Jamie Lynn Spears, a teen queen of Nickelodeon.
I had to go to boarding school.
Following in the footsteps of her famous sister, pop star Britney Spears.
I adored her. I just really, she felt like everything to me.
And this morning, Jamie Lynn Spears, now 30, an actress.
But it's just not that simple. And at some point, you have to own the path you're on.
Songwriter and mother of two, speaking out about the pressure she says came with the famous last name and her family's complicated dynamics in her new book, Things I Should Have Said.
Why write this book now?
It was really important to me to, first off, honor my voice. I have to do it, or how else can I expect my daughters to stand up for themselves?
She details an unstable upbringing, due in part to what she describes as her father's struggles with alcohol when she was young. According to the New York Times, court documents show he attended rehab for alcoholism in 2004 when she was a teen.
You wrote in the book, he spent most of my life in that cycle of ruinous behavior. His bouts of drinking always caused me periods of torment and sorrow. How did his drinking shape your lives?
For me, it was created a lot of anxiety. The hardest part was like, could I trust you? Are you drinking? Are you not? It was something that no kid should have to question.
She also describes the close bond she shared with her sister, who was 10 years older.
I felt like she was another mama.
Jamie Lynn says as the years passed, she noticed Britney's behavior begin to change.
Words that you've used in the book to describe her behavior over your lifetime was erratic, paranoid, spiraling. How do you see your sister's state of mind currently?
I can't really speak to anyone else's state of mind. I don't think that's fair. But I'm allowed to say how I felt in those, because that matters. It matters that I was in pain.
In 2008, Britney was put into a heavily scrutinized conservatorship. Last June, before it was dissolved, Britney testified in court calling it abusive, saying, "I would honestly like to sue my family. And my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years.
What was your reaction when the conservatorship was dissolved?
I was happy. First off, I don't understand. When it was put into place, I was 17-year-old. I was about to have a baby, so I didn't understand what was happening, nor was I focused on that. I was focused on the fact that I was a 17-year-old about to have a baby. I understand just as little about it then as I do now.
You talked in the book about the role that you were asked to play in the conservatorship.
There was a time where my sister asked me, of her trust and will, if I would be the person who assured that her boys got what they needed. Whether she's in a conservatorship or not, that was a very normal thing, I thought. Once I realized that, you know what, she's in a conservatorship, I felt like I just didn't want to be a part of until maybe she was out of the conservatorship. So there was no like me overseeing funds or something like that. And if that was, it was a misunderstanding. But either way, I took no steps to be a part of it.
Jamie Lynn revealing for the first time she even tried to give Britney the resources she needed to end the conservatorship.
I've always been my sister's biggest supporter. So when she needed help, I set up ways to do so. Went out of my way to make sure that she had the contacts she needed to possibly go ahead and end this conservatorship and just end this all for our family. If it's going to cause this much discord, why continue it?
So you didn't always agree with the conservatorship?
It wasn't about agreeing with the conservatorship. Everyone has a voice and it should be heard. So if she wanted to talk to other people, then I did. I set that up. I even spoke to her legal team, previous legal team, and that did not end well in my favor. So I did take the steps to help, but how many times can I take the steps without, she has to walk through the door.
There's been speculation of a rift, many of Britney's fans attacking Jamie Lynn online, noting that Britney unfollowed her on Instagram. Britney also posting last July that her sister's tribute performance at the 2017 Radio Disney Awards to remixes of her songs hurt her deeply.
Honestly, it was somewhat confusing to me about that, and I actually have spoke to her about that. And I was doing a tribute to honor my sister and all the amazing things that she's done.
But you've cleared that up with her?
I have cleared up with the fact that I don't think she's personally upset with me about that. Truthfully, I don't know why that bothers her.
Despite their complicated relationship, Jamie Lynn says she still has a deep love for her big sister.
What happened to that love? What has caused this rift between you?
That love is still there, 100%. I love my sister. I've only ever loved and supported her and done what's right by her, and she knows that. So I don't know why we're in this position right now.
She went on to describe it as often trying to protect her sister to her own detriment, never really getting a chance to speak up for herself. And it basically took a near-death experience for Jamie Lynn to really find the courage to speak up for herself. And we'll get into that in the next hour, George. But we reached out to Britney and her father, Jamie, and neither responded.
Well, that was really something, and we know there's a lot more coming up.
Yep,
Juju,
absolutely.
thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.